Hi, this is Tracy Taylor with the Wasatch Taxpayers Association. We are doing Wasatch School Board candidate interviews. There's 3 seats open this November, and it's a 5-seat board, so it's a pretty important election this year. Also, those of you that are concerned about your property taxes, this is a huge deal. This will be on our website. You can see any supporting documentation on our website, wasatchtaxpayersassociation.com. But this pie chart of your property taxes, over 70% goes to the school district. So those of you that are concerned about it, it does matter. And we hope you learn a few things while we're having a discussion today. We have Breanne Dedrickson, and she's in seat G, which is Daniel, Walsburg, Charleston area. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then why you decided to run.
Awesome, thank you, and
Thanks.
thank you for doing this. I'm grateful to have a chance to get the word out. So I am running because I have 4 kids in the schools, so I am personally invested and passionate about the quality of education in this district. I want it to be the best for my kids and every kid in this valley. I'm an educator. I taught 9th and 10th grade English at Wasatch High School for 6 years. I was assistant principal at Timpanogos Intermediate School, and currently I'm home full-time, but I do work 1 day a week as a part-time principal for a private school in Utah County. So education is near and dear to my heart. I studied it, I love it, but I'm running to provide the best possible education for every kid in this valley so it's a 2-part goal, in a fiscally responsible, transparent way. So I want the best for our kids, but I'm a taxpayer. My family is in my voting area. My parents, my aunts, my cousins, my grandparents. My grandparents are retired, they're on a fixed income, and I am very aware of the burden that taxes place on taxpayers, and so I want to make sure that we're giving our kids every opportunity, because education opens doors, right? But that we're doing it in a very transparent, fiscally responsible way. And I've been doing a lot of research and have a lot of ideas, and I've been involved in my kids' classroom. I help with reading groups. I've been on school community council. I've done the Future Schools Committee. I help with class parties. I ran the ring toss booth at our carnival, and I love that. But to affect real change, you have to be involved at a policy making level. And so that's why I decided to get involved and run for the school board, because I want to be involved and make sure that our school district has the policies and resources to provide a high quality education, but do that and implement some ideas that I've researched in a way that is in partnership with the taxpayers and does not burden them.
Right. So when you mention you worked in the school district, you principal, teacher, PTA, I was a PTA mom for 20 years too. I understand that culture within the schools, and what do you say to the taxpayer and the voter who is concerned that maybe, since you even had a family member, I think, as a board member prior,
Yeah, so Mark Davis is, so my grandpa and Mark's dad were brothers. So Mark and my dad would be first cousins, so Mark and I are second cousins, probably is how that shakes out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you're very involved in, what do you say to the voter that is concerned that maybe a fresh eye needs to see the district in a new light, or the budget's in a new light, or that they're concerned that somebody may just rubber stamp whatever's brought to them because they know a lot of the people in the organization that they're trying to govern?
Right, great question, thank you. I think I would say, how do you know I'm not a fresh eye, right? I have not served you right. I am well connected. But as I said, I have a personal investment in my kids' education, and as a taxpayer, and the fact that my family's in my voting area. And I have ideas that I think could help rebuild some trust with the community, that could make the process, our financial processes, more transparent. And so I would just ask you to research my policies, to research me, and if your values align with my values, I would love your vote.
Well, and also, it's not just your policies, but say your policy is different than what is being voted on at the moment. So it's also, are you willing to vote no on something that you don't agree or believe in, or just even to say, hold on, I don't even want to vote on this yet. Let's work this out a little bit more. It needs more work.
Right.
Before you vote on millions of dollars
Right.
of the taxpayer funds. So it's also that character to be able to say no. Because quite honestly, you look at the school board minutes, and it's all yay votes everywhere. Every single thing is, you don't even see a nay under the minutes anywhere, because nobody ever votes nay.
Yeah, good question. So, like you said, I am connected, but I am not connected with the district anymore other than my kids are in the schools. I am employed by a private school, so I don't have anything to lose or gain by serving on the school board because I have a job and it's outside the city and
Sure.
outside the public school system. So there's no conflict of interest, I feel like, on a professional level. In regard to, how I will vote, I am not running to be a yes man or to be a rubber stamp. I'm running to represent my constituents, to represent the people in my area, to represent students who don't have a voice, to represent teachers, to represent, everybody in my geographical area, and to do the best for this community. So I'm not afraid. I learned that as an administrator. You have to have critical conversations, and you can do that with respect. You can do that with listening and empathy, but I've found that as you bring a group together and you involve the stakeholders and you look at all different perspectives and data, you come together to the best solution as you explore all different options. And so what I feel like is important is making data-driven, research-based decisions. So my goal is to look at the data, to look at the research, and make decisions that are informed. And if that goes in opposition to the board, then yes, I'll open a discussion and I'll vote differently.
Okay, let's bring up one of those
Please.
data issues. You were on the Future Schools
Yes.
with me. And, back then, 2 years ago, it showed the enrollment just kind of a trajectory straight up, no plateaus. And I'm sorry, I'm looking for the thing, but here's the 2024 enrollment, where the enrollment was here, and this is all on our website, so you can look at it. But bottom line is, what we were shown is a trajectory, rising steadily for the next 50 years. It actually has plateaued. You've got elementary schools even losing students. Middle school is just about plateaued. And the high school actually only increased by 60 students. Most of that increase in the high school was the Wasatch Learning Academy. It was online students. It was not in-school students. So this is where I say, the data that was supplied to even the public during that Future Schools was the projections of what's going to happen. But this is the actual enrollment in the last couple of years, and we are not growing as projected 2 years ago, because our median price is $1 million for a house. These aren't young families moving in. We just heard 60 to 70% of the new builds are second homes, retirees, rentals. They're not primary families with kids in the school. That's part of it. And then also just families in general in Utah are having less kids. So those two demographic studies are showing that our enrollment is actually not increasing to the trajectory that we were told. So this is something where you go, okay, can you adapt? Can you rethink some of the policies that were made in the last couple of years and go, wait, this is something different that we haven't seen.
And where did this come from?
This is from the state Office of Education website, these numbers.
For Wasatch specifically, yeah.
Right, and we made charts for that, but all the raw data we have, it'll be up on our website, so people can go see the raw data, but also those will be up there. But the point is that it's not just collecting data and making decisions, it's questioning the data that you're given.
So I'd love to speak to this.
Sure,
Yeah.
you bet.
I've been attending school board meetings since I filed, so I've been to every monthly meeting since January, and I know they did a demographic study and they looked at, a third-party company came in and looked at development projects, houses, and presented that data. And I would need to have that all in front of me in order to make an informed statement. But what I would like to say is looking at demographic studies, looking at population data, I think we can make decisions and change policies based on current research, right? I think that we have that flexibility. And a thought I had as you were talking, so our district is on the upward movement with academic achievement, right? We have gone from the bottom of the state to the top of the state, and part of that is professional learning communities, right? Teachers are learning best practices from other teachers. So I have been looking at different school districts and their finance policies and processes, and I found Washington County School District, and they were actually given an award by the Utah Taxpayers Association for being a leader in cost-effective construction in school buildings. So I called down and I talked to their business administrator, and I just said, I'm running for school board, I'm trying to get informed, please tell me, like, what are you doing that you got an award from the Utah Taxpayers Association? And so, referencing back to where I was talking about professional learning communities in regard to academics, as a school board member, and if elected, I would love to apply that principle of professional learning communities to our business side. So let's go to Washington.
Do you know what they
District.
did down there?
I've had the article and the
They
data.
built an 800 student magnet school type situation for $33 million.
Yeah,
That was what our alternative master plan at the end of that Future Schools Advisory Council thing we did, when our alternative master plan was the only other option that was presented during that whole process. That's what was going to be a magnet school, add the wings on. We actually projected it would be closer to $56 million. They built it for $33 million and housed 800 students. Whereas we've got a 400,000 square foot high school that'll be half full when it's completed, because our enrollment is not growing to what we were projected. So I'm just explaining what that was and why they got an award for it, because they did not just replicate another high school. They built something that was needed in the community, which was more of a tech school, kind of magnet school. And that's what they built, and they are winning awards for it. So this is what needs to happen in our school board, in our school district, is thinking outside the box.
And that's what I'd like to see, is go to other districts, find out what their best practices are, and let's implement them here. One thing I loved that Washington has posted on their website is they have their financial goals, and I think we've done an excellent job chasing our academic goals, and I think the community knows what those are. But I had as a school board candidate, is I would love to set some financial goals. Like I looked at, and I don't know if Washington's, their practices are best fit for us, it's just an example.
Sure.
But they're one of their goals is to be debt free. One of their goals is to pay for schools with money, so they don't have to earn interest, and that will save taxpayers $10 million a year. So I would love to set some financial goals so that the community and the district are working together toward these financial goals, and it's transparent that this is what we're chasing and why we're doing what we're doing. I think that would be an excellent way to.
Well, some of these creative ideas that are coming out in the last 5 years since the 2019 bond failed, and then we did the Future Schools, is the lease revenue bond. So that's what the school board did, is built the same school that was turned down in 2019, built it in the Northfields, and did a lease revenue bond, which only 5 school board members get to vote on, and totally took the voter out of that process because it wasn't a GO bond. And I understand it got denied last time, but Park City had a bond that didn't pass, and they came back to the community and came up with a compromise and worked on it for a year and got buy-in and came back and actually got what they wanted passed.
I think that community buy-in is huge. That's when, and I'm sorry to keep referring to this, but it's just what's on my mind. But when I talked to Washington's business administrator, that's what he said, is they held public, it was this huge PR campaign. Public meeting after public meeting, they took so many questions, but it was a transparent process, and by the end of it, their community was bought in to the idea of, yes, we're all for this because the data represents it. And they have a spreadsheet on their website that's a 5-year plan that shows like, okay, this is where all of our money is going. So it goes to this school that's this old for the new roof. It goes to this school that's this old, but it shows the plan, and so the public knows like, yeah, this is where the money's going. And I think I think we could be more transparent about where our money's going. Let's post a spreadsheet like that. Let's set financial goals. Let's partner with the community and develop
and
them.
also show to the public where you cut something. Like there never is any kind of give and take. Okay, we're not going to do this because this is a priority for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never hear of anything that was not approved right away when asked. I mean, these are the things that I think the public deserves to have, but it sounds like Washington and Park City and Jordan had a bond denied as well. They're figuring this out. And so, you know, the other thing is, it sounds like now that Truth in Taxation hearing last summer, that money is going to put aside 25, 30 million for a new elementary school. And they're like, well, we'll have cash on hand to build it. The only problem is it's in a slush fund, cash slush fund, that could be spent on anything. They could build another pool with it, or a splash pad, or something.
So
and it's like
where that money will go.
Sure, it's sitting in a fund. The GO bond is on the ballot. The voter gets to read what it's for. They have to stick to that. They cannot spend their money on anything else.
Which I think that's why it's important to set those goals and to have them posted, so all the decisions you're making
and the
come back to
accountability
the
of
goals.
it.
Yeah, come back to the
Right.
goals.
So, are you okay with just collecting cash for the next years and just having cash on hand for the next elementary school?
I think it depends on what your goal is. So if my goal is to pay cash so we can save taxpayers' interest and save money, and that's posted and the community knows that that's what our goal is, and we've in a partnership decided that, yeah, let's put that money in there and save that for the elementary, because then we're going to save taxpayers money. So I think it's making your decisions aligned with the goals that have been set.
Right, but you're still taking the voter out of the actual formal vote that has been state code forever of any indebtedness to the community on a long-term basis has to be a vote of the people. You're taking the public out of that. You say, oh, we'll listen to you and we'll tell you why we're doing it, we're saving you money. What if we don't even want an elementary school built? But that's our money you've got in there. I mean, this is what I think some of the disconnect with the district is they're deciding the public who pays all these bills doesn't get to vote on some of these things anymore. I think that's a very dangerous road to go down.
So to make sure I understand you, so you're wanting to bond for every school so that there's a vote for every school?
Sure, that's what the state code says is supposed to happen.
For every school, okay.
I mean, that's what the state says. That's what the state legislature was pretty upset about last winter with these lease revenue bonds. They were not too happy about taking the voter out of that process. These were state legislators, so it's not just me or our organization. I listened to so many committee meetings last winter about this subject. So it's in the code. That's what the intent of the code was supposed to be, was to keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I think the voter needs to be in the loop, and that's something I'm not as familiar with, so I would need to research that, because
Sure.
I know lease revenue bonds, I know Cash did it, I know Duchesne did it, I know they have been done.
They can do it,
So,
but
yeah, so I need to research that to find out what the code says, the reasoning, the pros and cons, and then listen to my constituents. Like, what do you want? Do you want it to be there? Do you want no tax interest payments, or do you want to vote? Like, I think it's listening to the people you represent, and like I've said, looking at, what's the status quo? What does the research say, and making a decision that's best for the people you represent.
yeah. Another issue really quick is Heber CRA, which is for the redevelopment of downtown Heber. And they're asking Wasatch County and the school district to come up with 20% or something to give to them to use as they decide.
Based on growth.
And so I want your take on that, especially most of your constituents are outside Heber City, and their tax money is going to the school district. Are you okay? How do you feel about, is it yes or no on the Heber CRA?
Right. And I've been attending the board meetings and listening to the dialogue on that, and I actually posted, I've got a campaign Facebook page, and I posted the articles, I posted the stuff I knew and asked people for their feedback because I wanted to hear the pros and cons. So I am still getting educated on that, but currently, right now, I would like to see, I have a lot of questions, and I would like to see a more of a plan, because I think they're making decisions based on assumptions, like on ground that they don't own yet. And so at this point, I'm not comfortable with the CRAs, but I would like to learn more, and I'm still open to hearing both sides.
And we're hearing a lot. I mean, we're getting phone calls from the public going, my tax money, I live in Midway, they say,
For education,
right?
yep.
They live in Midway.
Yep.
They don't want their school district money going to Heber City to what? Help them develop and grow even more than they are.
Right.
I mean, that is not a priority for your general taxpayer, in Wasatch.
Right.
So,
and the money would still go to the school district, from what I understand. It would just the percentage of the growth would go to Heber City. And like I said, right now I'm not for that, but I am still open to listening and learning, and if the plan gets more cemented, I would want to hear it.
Sure.
I want to do what's in the best interest of our community.
Sounds great. Tell people if there's anything we haven't discussed that you want to bring up, but also where they can reach you and learn more about you.
Yeah, awesome. I want to listen. I'm here to learn. I'm not an expert on everything. I'm very aware of that. So please feel free to reach out to me, to ask questions, to express your concerns. I'm running because, like I said, two-part. I'm running because I believe in high-quality education, and I believe we need to do it in a fiscally responsible and transparent way, and I'd love your ideas. You can reach me at my email is votebreannededrickson@gmail.com. My phone number's out there. It's 801-369-4248. Please call me. I'd be happy to talk to you. I've got a Facebook page, Breanne Dedrickson for Wasatch County School Board. I have a website, breannededrickson.org. Please go there. Please read about me, learn about me, and please reach out. I would love your vote in November, and I would love to represent you, and that means I need to get informed and know what's important to you.
Great, thanks so much. And go to our website, wasatchtaxpayers.com, to see any of these documents. Thanks.
Thanks.